If you haven't read a book, you're listening to the right podcast, the Dapper Dads. Stop reading.
I was old enough to know better, but reckless.
Not old enough to do
reckless.
better.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, so I shit on the floor of this porta potty, and then I
Perfect. I shit on the floor of a porta potty.
Are we ready?
Crying and beating off since 91. It's the Dapper Dads.
Wow, right into it, huh?
I mean, might as well hit them strong. Apparently, my last couple intros haven't been so hot per my review.
Per your own review?
Well, I mean, as the head of PR and HR, I had to do my own job review.
That.
So it's it's something where it's taxing, but you have to be your hardest critic about things like this.
I thought you were talking about all the hate mail that we've been getting.
I mean, all the hate mail too, but I don't really I pay attention to it. It all just goes into a spam folder at this point, where it gets congested into a Autobot, which makes it into a
sandwich,
which makes it into these episodes.
Patty,
actually,
a patty that you can eat,
which gives me the strength
George
and energy,
patty.
much like Popeye with the spinach. And that's how I make fantastic quality content.
Is that what your spinach would be if you were in a Popeye scenario? Would it be the hate mail?
Yeah,
you pop
it would
the
be.
hate mail.
I would pop the hate mail in
and
just
you save the wavy small woman.
Olive oil.
Yeah, olive oil.
Would you bang a woman named Olive Oil?
No, seems greasy.
Like if you
a new Valet song came out and he's like, my bitch pussy wet, I slide in it like grease. So now I'm all for it.
Yeah.
It only takes Valet to. Yeah, when you think about that.
A greasy pussy?
Yeah, when you think about it.
A greasy pussy.
Yeah, see you saying it, very upsetting. Valet saying it, nice.
Greasy pussy. Goes into, no, it still sounds
no, you're
terrible.
not. You haven't heard the song. This goes into how I constantly say that you say things the wrong way.
I don't get how you can say greasy pussy wrong.
I mean,
I just want to know.
Maybe it's just your tone.
How is it
You're
my tone?
Saying, you always say things that
greasy
I can.
Pussy.
No, all right, we're done saying it because it's excessive at this point and upsetting to everyone. And sometimes we do have new listeners. And how many people do you think press play and hear the term you've said 7 times in a row
greasy
and tune
pussy?
right? Okay, seriously, let's fucking stop. Listen to the Valet song. My point is, you say things that I can get behind, but you say them in a way that just is horrible and disgusting.
I think that's probably what's wrong with my life if we're going to pinpoint
it. If I can sum up, you is all the right things done in the weirdest, wrongest, disgusting ways. Does that make sense? Is
honestly,
that okay? Am I your therapist now?
Can that be the title of my autobiography?
I don't know.
The right thing done in the wrong, most disgusting way.
Yeah, someone needs to take all the titles of your autobiography throughout this this strange journey, because I think you've rattled off a couple. It'll
be a long book. It'll be a series.
Yeah, a series of autobiographies.
A 19
Is that a
series?
First?
Yeah.
I like it.
It'll be the first of its kind.
And people will think your life is, I'm assuming, way more eventful and impactful.
I mean, we'll have to stretch some details a little bit.
You think so?
I mean, we could probably have a good 7-volume series on just the show.
I recently read Nikki Sixx's Heroin Diaries, which are literally the day-by-day diaries of when he was on heroin. And
any good?
Not really, because while it's interesting, it's like December 3rd, woke up, got drugs from my dealer, shot up all the drugs, thought people were in the trees, flushed the drugs, got sober, called for more drugs. Next day, literally the same thing. It just becomes like, it's shocking that he's alive and all the shit he went through, but it just gets very repetitive.
Yeah.
Even though it's very crazy, you get jaded and you're like, oh, just shooting up heroin and
again.
coke again? Come on, we've heard it enough.
Why don't you do a little bit of meth, Nikki Sixx?
Oh, he does.
Peppers did a little bit of methamphetamine.
A little bit of meth.
A tasteful amount of methamphetamine.
And then even when he dies, it gets boring. And then they bring him back to life.
I mean, if I had to think of a boring death, Nikki Sixx's is probably up there.
Only when it's written out in diary form.
Well, yeah. I mean, like anything written out in diary form seems boring after a while, you know?
Yeah, it's very underwhelming. It's not as good as his work in the book that they all wrote together.
Not as good as his work in Motley Crue, some would say.
Yeah, but again, very surprising when you read these and they're like, we're making girls right now, and I can't physically move because I'm so fucking crazy into heroin. And you're like, how the fuck were you guys? That's what always makes me like, blows my mind about these books is they're interesting, and then you listen to like Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses, and you're like, how the fuck were you able to make like one of the best like selling debut albums of all time still, when you were all so fucked up and living such horrendous lives?
They're gonna
like,
say the same thing about us someday.
I fucking wish, but we don't. It's like that Nick Swardson joke where he's like, you think you drink a lot, and then you like hear about these bands, and you're like, oh, I'm just a huge pussy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do shit.
No.
Because that's they're also like, oh yeah, we all used to just chug a bottle of Jack, put a straw in it and bend it so the air gets out, and then just chug it. And I'm like, I take a couple shots of Jack and I'm like, fuck this.
I take one and I'm like, oh god, chaser.
Yeah, Jack is horrible.
Yeah.
We still need alcohol recommendations, so send them to www.thedapperdads.com and click on submit, and then leave us a submission. You can also find all the other things on there. Hi, new listeners that already turned off the podcast
because they clicked on this
vulgarities.
Yeah, my vulgarities. That's what's going to do it.
Yeah.
We talked about greasy pussies and heroin in the first 10 minutes.
The heroin is fine.
Oh, the heroin is fine. Yeah, the opioids are fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's an epidemic currently, but reading about it in the 80s is just a good time.
Maybe we currently have a greasy pussy epidemic going on.
Oh, my God. Seriously, fucking stop with it. I'm about to turn it off, and I'm recording it.
I can't wait to review this later.
Go to go to the website, do some shit. Send your hate mail to dapperdadspodcast
so
at gmail.com.
I can get stronger.
Yes, it only makes Slim stronger. Jesus Christ. Call 402-7-DAPPER. That's 402-732-7737. Leave us a voicemail specifically for our year anniversary episode coming up in, what is this, 48?
Something like that, yeah.
So in like 4 episodes, it'll be a fucking year.
Isn't that what were we doing a year ago at this point?
I don't know.
Had we
even talking?
We'd had this conceptualized, but it wasn't a thing yet.
I don't know. I figured out the date when we actually. I don't think we had this conceptualized yet.
Isn't that crazy?
No, yeah, we didn't. It was after 4th of July.
We were
I was
completely
drunk
different
and broke
people.
my phone on 4th of July.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't.
Or no, that was a different day. Jesus Christ.
I couldn't even tell you what I did on 4th of July last year.
Yeah, I don't remember. I partied the day before 4th of July excessively and broke my phone and woke up to a broken phone. And a lot of, I walked over my car. I got drunk and walked over my car, and I woke up and walked outside and was like, who the fuck dented in my car? And then it purple footprints on the roof, on the hood of my car. Purple footprints. I don't know what I did. And I remember dancing on my car, but I don't know how my footprints were purple. So yeah, just a light Monday.
Grimace blood?
Yeah, I wish I remembered slaughtering Grimace.
I would say, do you think there may be a chance we could slaughter a Grimace this 4th of July?
Oh, I would love to. Is that we figured out the plural.
Grimaces?
No, you watched a video.
I did watch a video.
You watched a video. You showed me it later.
Grimaces.
Grimaces.
It was Grimaces.
Yeah, I still think it should be Grimini or something.
What would be did we talk about the preferred method of slaughtering a herd of Grimaces?
I don't think we got into that. I think this was when we were still friends with the Grimini.
Oh, are we?
I don't want to touch one.
I want
to touch one. They got to be soft, right? We've been over.
Yeah.
See, we're definitely repeating ourselves.
No, but now you
for the new listener, they're like a little furry.
Yeah, like kind of like a
not like someone who dresses up, but
like velveteen.
Yeah, like a rabbit.
Like suede.
Yeah, like the Anderson .Paak song. These are all.
That's
my
a bar.
references.
That's a bar somewhere. Velveteen, like the rabbit. Suede, like Anderson .Paak.
Yeah, I wanna. And like, what do you think? You watched the video. Are they proportionate to Ronald McDonald? Are they taller? They seem like they'd be bigger. Maybe your height, but they seem like
they're about the same size, if not a little bigger. But they're very they're
heavy. Very bulbous.
Bulbous is the correct word.
Oh, I know.
Paunchy? Is that a word?
Yeah, I know. It is now. Yeah, it's like they're wearing a poncho filled with meat.
Isn't that technically everyone?
I mean, it depends.
I mean, everyone always gets freaked out by skeletons, but I'm more freaked out by all the meat.
Yeah, because you have problems with meat.
All the pulsating
But
meat.
yeah, if we were to kill a Grimace, I would slit its throat.
I like to think that there's no bones, but it's more like a jelly-like consistency
but what about
on the
arms
inside.
And the legs?
Like a Stretch Armstrong. That's what I'm thinking. You know how it's got like that squishy corn syrup inside?
Yeah,
but they don't stretch. But it's like, when you get...
You could stretch one out in the right circumstance,
okay,
though,
so
right?
Okay, so like...
Pull one on in the closet.
If I had a nickel for everything I pulled off in the closet. Okay, so Easter when you were a child.
Okay.
Think back.
All right, traumatic.
Yeah, lots of trauma.
Seven Dust CD.
Oh my god,
that was in my.
Now you're triggering me. Did you get a Seven Dust CD in your Easter basket?
It wasn't. My parents would do occasionally. They were fun parents. They would hide Easter eggs, hide the Easter basket, and then if there were like weird size things that would not work in the Easter basket, they would hide them around the house as well. And I wanted the Seven Dust CD so bad, but I was young.
Which one?
I don't know. Like the main one, I think.
They had the weird face on the front.
I think so. I can't.
Had
even,
waffle on it.
I don't remember anything.
I liked Seven Dust a lot back in the day.
I apparently did enough to want the CD, but not have it be allowed because it was so expletive filled. So I had like begged for it and I wasn't getting it. And then my dad had like the fucking, 90s dad CD racks, like 7 of them. And then it was right on the top. And like it took me so long to find it. They were always real good at hiding shit. I bet there's still some eggs in that house because they really went
Go
for
back
it.
knocking. Yeah, hey, we're just wondering if we could take a look around for some things, specifically some eggs that may have been left
I want to take a lot of looks in that house because when I left it, the wall was bleeding because the chimney was like, I don't know what was going on, but I like
something trapped up in there.
No, it was just the chimney bricks had started to like leak, but it looked so much like blood. I should have took a picture, but instead I like hadn't lived there and my parents were moving out and I like went up there and I was like, so the walls are bleeding? Is that why we're leaving?
Okay, Easter as a child, no bleeding walls and Seven Dust CDs in this one. Did you ever have the Jell-O eggs at Easter at all, or like did anyone ever bring them to school when you were a kid?
Not that I recall. I hate Jell-O.
So what it was is they were molds. My mom would make these. They were Jell-O molds, but they sat upright and you just poured the Jell-O liquid into them and then you had Jell-O eggs. But so think about like that consistency. If you were to like cut through a Jell-O egg, that's what I'm thinking of Grimaces.
I don't think it's that smooth.
But I'm feeling like depending on like how are we like cutting through them? Is it like a sword? Like am I like riding a horse and like cutting down a bunch of Grimaces?
But if we're riding a horse, is it in the McDonald's universe? And it's it's
a Mick horse?
Yeah, like I'm picturing like Gumby's sidekick horse.
Okay, so do you remember in that dumbass video I watched, Ronald McDonald had like a dog that kind of looked like him too?
Yeah, I watched like 2 minutes of it.
I'm picturing a big horse like that kind of looks like Ronald McDonald, and I ride it with a Mick sword, and I cut the Grimaces in half with it.
I feel like they're just when you like bite into a chicken nugget to keep everything on point with the McDonald's brand.
The brand is consistency.
Yeah.
I just thought about biting into a Grimace. It's
what
really
if it's the best?
Because I'm picturing like the fur.
How do you grill a McGrimace?
Grill a McGrimace?
I picture we skewer it and we get the poles and we're like a hog.
Okay, so are we?
And we burn the fur off, or do we skin it and we wear very nice vests while we wait for our Grimace?
We tailor our. Well, I feel like we would have to take the Grimace skin and make a leather out of it if we were to wear it, or else it's just a bloody Grimace skin.
Well,
you're wearing.
They always say you're supposed to use every part of the Grimace if you kill it.
Well, I mean, the Grimace doesn't have bones. He apparently just has 100% antibiotic-free white meat chicken inside.
Oh God.
And what if it is the best thing I've ever tasted? So is it so? But if it's like
you don't eat meat, would you eat a Grimace?
It's a once in a lifetime chance. Yeah.
Say, come on.
Scenario: we're up at the cabin. We're enjoying ourselves, right? It's the fire we've all talked about. We're all outside on our various
spot a wild Grimace
on our various bullshit, and suddenly just out we hear like splash, splash, and we see like the moonlight on the water, and it's like in the edge of the water, just like stupid and playing with its big dumb hands.
I can see. I picture 2 of them trying to fuck in the water. The moonlight, but they're also clumsy. And
one of them has like the angry eyebrows because he's really like aggressively trying to like.
He's choking the other one with the. They don't have fingers, right?
Right, they have like the mittens basically, and you just see like a mitten hand going against it.
Oh yeah, we got to intervene in that. At least.
Yeah, and so I feel like we go to.
Sure everything's consensual.
So we go to
Grimini.
We go to Grimaces, not Grimini.
I'm gonna keep Grimini.
Grimini, it sounds better. So we go to intervene the Grimini. It's dark. Things get hasty. One slips on a rock and he cracks his Grimace skull.
Yeah,
we got to cook him and eat him.
He cracks his Grimace skull.
Yeah.
See, this is where things go
but
wrong.
It's still like
no bones.
But there's
you can't write fan fiction for shit.
Well, for what it's worth, there's an editing process before you put the fan fiction on the internet.
I don't think there is.
This is just live pitching ideas from my internet.
Spitballing. Yeah. Grimace's big skull cracks.
Well, okay, so what? How does a Grimace die if it slips on a rock and like cracks its? What is it?
That's why you got to cut it because they're definitely bouncy.
So
if anything, they're bouncy.
He falls on a rock and he slices slices open his chicken McNugget meat head, his Grimini head.
And what color is his blood? Green?
I don't think they have blood. It's just McNugget meat. It's just cooked McNugget meat.
If they don't have blood, then you can definitely eat it.
That's
my rule. That's my rule for you.
That doesn't seem to stand, right?
As your therapist, I would say if something doesn't bleed, you can
Why does
eat
the
it.
blood have to be green if they're purple?
Because they're purple. It can't be red.
Why not?
Because they're purple.
If we're assuming it's the same universe, they're beings that clearly breathe oxygen. So if their blood gets oxygenated, like, because our blood is blue until it hits oxygen and then it turns red. So, like, are we saying that their blood is purple until it's oxygen and then it turns green?
Yeah.
I love everything about this.
See? I love when you're like,
because
really
once I find
with
some
your
logic
questions, and I'm just like, yeah, and you're like, okay, this is, I can really get.
Well, once you get
some logic,
once I get some clarification,
logic.
Once I get some clarification on what's going on around here, I feel a lot better about it.
I mean, I just feel like they're basically like.
Do we have to kill the other Grimace then? If we killed the one,
you always got to.
Yeah, so we have two
we
dead
all have
Grimaces.
Purple blood on our hands. Green blood. Sorry,
it's purple at first, and then once it gets oxygenated, it turns green. So half a Grimace for each of us.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad deal.
Do you think you could what half
down
of
the middle?
Well, yeah, because obviously, because then
the bottom is thick.
Because who wants
so thick that everybody else in the room is so uncomfortable.
Who's out here saying, "Give me the ass end" when we're grilling up some Grimini?
I mean the ass end's where it's at, I think.
But I feel like we have to have everyone get equal Grimini proportions.
So we just cut it right down the middle.
Well, I think we have to grill it first and then cut it up.
Definitely.
I feel like it's not like if you just cut it down the middle first, it's gonna.
I feel like you gotta get rid of some of that meat.
Is there guts?
Oh, there's guts, and I'm up in them. Panda me fucking a Grimace on a friendly vacation.
That's the one you get to eat, and I'm not sharing it with you.
It's like the horror movies when like. I Know What You Did Last Summer, where something traumatic happens and we have to come back and not talk about it, and it's that we all ate Grimace, and then also I fucked it a little bit, and then you guys all totally fucked it after I did, because I was like, it was crazy.
It felt so better than any human pussy.
Furry and soft.
Oh my god, I wish I was fucking it again right now, but you all filled it up.
Oh god, people have
this
definitely
episode
turned
is
this
wild already.
People have
what are we on today?
Just some sweet Grimace love.
Nothing like some sweet Grimace blood lubricating my cock.
All right, see, that's exactly what I fucking mean. Something I could get behind is saying that we fucked the Grimace.
You think you're not getting Grimace blood if it's a dead Grimace?
No, maybe it all dries up. I don't know, man.
How does Grimace blood work?
I don't know. Now we're off of this. You ruined it. I hope you're happy. Now we never get to fuck the Grimace. The genie that was going to grant us this
we ever get to not fuck a Grimace.
Is gone. The genie's like, I was with you guys with the Grimace, grilling it. I'll take a bite. You guys are fucking it.
I'm not sharing my Grimace with a genie.
No, the genie's just there to just provide us the service. He's going to watch us eat it. He's not going to watch us fuck it. I'll tell you that much.
Well, what if...
No, you're done.
Yeah.
Anyway, follow us on Twitter at dapperdadads.
We didn't even finish this shit.
Oh, I don't even know how it started.
Oh
to be
my
honest.
god! I think
it got started and got off the rails quickly. Also, follow us on Instagram at dapperdadspodcast, where we will be posting artwork of Grimace.
Send us laid up.
Send us artwork of Grimace. We're gonna leave it up to you what you're gonna depict with that, but you know.
I'm gonna drink another balls and think about Grimace.
Jesus Christ! Shout out balls. You're Slim's only life source at this point. He's gonna drink a warm one. How warm is it? Hotter than outside. Oh fuck.
That's desperate for a bush.
Nothing like a warm dungeon balls for you on a very hot summer day. It's like 100 degrees out. How refreshing is it, Slim? He's dead. And they put it on the can. It has to be cold or it causes death.
Oh god, it is. It's colder than you think it is, but it's
that's also concerning.
Feel the can.
Just like Grimace blood, colder than you think it should be.
Colder than your heart after you've killed a Grimace. God, I think killing a Grimace definitely takes away some innocence. It's kind of like killing a unicorn or something. I feel like.
Is there anything you kill that doesn't take away some innocence?
In my opinion,
brain cells.
Yeah, you mean the two I got left that struggle to form thoughts?
That's being generous.
Yeah.
This Grimace talk reminds me of something that's been weighing heavy on my conscience. Do zombies shit?
The Walking Dead has not addressed this, and I feel like they should have.
I don't think anything has addressed this. If I'm wrong, please contact us and let us know a movie. Because you would think they shit. They're eating.
But they're dead.
They're dead. And also, they're not like taking shit, so they're just shitting their pants all the time. Is there a zombie epidemic of them just shitting their pants? Is that the worst part of a zombie apocalypse?
Well,
just shitting everywhere?
Do we want to approach this from a scientific standpoint?
I mean, it's zombies, so how scientific are we going to get?
Well, because if you're talking about like why we have to eat as a species in the first place, it's because we have to burn energy to fuel our bodies to do it.
I'm not questioning that. They eat. They're eating.
But that's because our bodies are alive, and that's why we do it. So if your body's dead, it's not technically, because then it depends on.
But they're eating, and what happens?
That's what I'm.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm curious.
I know where
about,
you're coming from.
They wouldn't be burning it for energy. I've been just
thinking this for a couple of weeks. So they're eating, and something has to happen. So I'm just wondering if they're just shitting their pants all the time.
They have to. There has to be just big zombie
big
pants
zombie
full of
shits
shit.
everywhere.
Yeah, just
big zombie.
Well, because I mean, you got to think like if we're talking like zombie apocalypse style scenario, world is overrun. Nobody's shitting in toilets, really. You know, people are just kind of shitting wherever they can. I feel like, you know, that's one of the
even alive people.
Yeah,
is that what you're counting on?
That's one of the freedoms of the apocalypse is you get to shit freely in the woods like a bear.
I mean,
but in the loveliness of suburbia on your neighbor's lawn.
I don't know. On my favorite, because I love Dawn of the Dead, I always like to think in a zombie apocalypse I would make it to a mall because it just seems tight.
Yeah.
I would probably still shit in the toilets at the mall.
Get a bunch of Jordans.
Well, yeah, but mainly the shitting. I shit in Jordans. Yeah, because I got it like that.
Catch me. That's my scene in the horror movie. You see me wander into a shoe store, and I'm finally like, zip. And I go to shit in a Jordan.
Yeah, it's the clip scene of Dawn of the Dead where everybody's doing different fun things.
Yeah.
And you're just shitting in the Jordan.
And then you just hear like a...
I thought you meant that's what your shit sounds like. And I'm like, oh, you're shitting out aluminum cans, huh?
And then like... And
but it's just this city of Chicago coming to fight you because you disrespected Jordans like that.
Fuck Jordan.
Yeah, we can't say that. But,
I'm saying it. Fuck Michael Jordan.
I mean, Jordan is a sponsor of the podcast. So.
I wish he was.
I mean,
then
he's
the
got the
Dapper
money.
Dads would be involved in the privatized prison system.
I've heard that that's not true at all.
It's very true.
I've heard that that's very much not true.
Michael Jordan's people would want you to think that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, his people. They're the people that provide him with those big bootcut jeans that he's always wearing. Because Jesus Christ. But yeah, so let us know if you think zombies shit and if it's just a literal shit show for zombies.
Well...
And
do the zombies all have clothes on?
I mean, they're in different levels of disarray.
I mean, I just feel like the streets are going to be
littered
littered with waste regardless.
Yeah, there's probably some zombies in some cute little sundresses that were nice before they were infected. And
would you fuck a zombie? Like if you saw like a fresh, like kind of hot zombie?
Before they turn?
Like freshly.
Bit,
like okay, so like we're talking like the type of turning where like they get bit and they're like, oh my God, I love you. And then it's like...
and then
then they come right back. Like
I fuck them before they come back, or like in the middle.
What if you were fucking them what if you were fucking them as they died and turned into a zombie?
I mean, that's the gamble you take. You got to know what you're signing up for. Well, you just got to be quick, which I don't think is a problem.
Do you think by fucking a zombie you'll turn into a zombie?
I would be concerned. That's why
like
you got to wrap
like an
up.
STD?
I guess it depends on what universe we're...
Okay, let's say like crazy, like 1 in a billion scenario here. It's a girl. It's a zombie apocalypse. She's hiding from you that she got bit. You're banging her. Halfway through the bang, she turns into a zombie. What do you do? But you haven't wrapped it up because you're comfortable.
I would totally wrap it up with a zombie.
But you don't know that she's been bit. You don't know that she's turning into a zombie.
Oh, she's lying to me like all women.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but that's my mood all summer 2018, bitch.
Well, it would be concerning because that means that I don't know she's a zombie, and while we're having sex, she dies. And if that ever happens again, I'm done.
Again?
No, all the women I've had sex with have been alive.
There's a
and consensual.
There's a Chuck Palahniuk book called Lullaby, and the main
about this.
the main character is a disgraced detective because his wife dies and he had like morning sex with her and didn't realize that she was dead. He thought she was just like sleepy, and then it turned out she was dead.
Ooh, yeah, that'll get you disgraced real quick.
Yeah, you want to talk
at least in my book.
Well, because I don't want to. What it is it's
Spoiler.
about. Well, no, if you haven't read a book that
if you haven't read a book, like you're listening to the right podcast, the Dapper Dads. Stop reading.
No, never stop reading, please. After you're done listening to every single episode of the Dapper Dads podcast, go read some books.
Yeah, you probably should, because we've made you so stupid. It's
well,
unbelievable.
What happened? It was a weird book. What it is basically
really?
It's a book.
Chuck Palahniuk book is weird.
Well, it's a book about It's a book about a book, believe it or not, of children's lullabies. But one specific lullaby in the book is like a culling song from Africa, and it's
Toto.
Yeah, it's Africa by Toto.
Oh yeah.
You read it to your child, and then your kid dies the next day, as everyone does when they listen to Africa fully.
Hey, that's a good song.
It's a great song. Did you hear the Weezer cover?
No, I stayed away from
that.
I
have stayed far away from the Weezer
things.
cover. But I don't even. I was just gonna say that in the book he reads the lullaby to his daughter and his wife hears it. So like his wife and his daughter die in the same day. So he's like suspicious for their murder and stuff like that. And then they're like, we found semen in her body after she was dead.
How did they know it was after she was dead?
They're able to determine that kind of thing. Apparently,
I was like, I don't
know how forensics work.
The way you said that, they're able to determine that thing.
I mean, I read the book in like high school, man. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's when we all read books.
I still read books.
I haven't seen
read. You're not around me all the time.
That's what you think.
I wish you were. I'm lonely.
We're all very lonely.
Very, very
aggressive.
lonely. I'm aggressively lonely.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it. But yeah, well, I don't know. Have sex with the zombie while it turns. Would you do it? I think is where we need to.
Well, no. The question I was asking is, do you think it's like an STD thing, where like if you're having sex with her, and like let's say she has like you just think she's having like a crazy orgasm and she dies, and then like her eyes open, they're like the zombie color, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
fast moving zombie.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, super fast moving zombie.
I'm probably just gonna finish because.
But I mean, like, do you think like you would catch the zombie virus from fucking her when she turned into a zombie?
I don't know, but if she turns into a zombie during it, I'm fairly certain your odds of getting away are gonna be greatly diminished.
Would you finish if you could?
I mean, if she's probably gonna kill me, so you might as well.
Yeah, I mean, might as well get that last nut out before you die.
I don't get why people never want to turn into the zombies in the movies. Like, if I get caught by a zombie, they're always like, shoot me before I get turned into a zombie. I'd just be a fucking zombie.
Why?
If I got bit? Why not? Who fucking cares? Do you think there's a lot of conscience behind a zombie life?
Well, per how they do it, it's like you're not in there. It's just like a mindless thing where it's just like the basic reptile. I don't know, man. I don't want to be a zombie.
I'd like to turn into a zombie.
I don't like.
I like
hurting
to fight
anything.
to. Jesus Christ! It's a zombie apocalypse. Everybody's hurting everything.
Why? Why does it have to be like that?
Because it's an apocalypse.
So why does apocalypse imply everyone has to get hurt? Can't people work together to like better the world?
No, I don't think that's what that means at all.
Why?
That's just an apocalypse.
An apocalypse is something horrible has happened and we need to restore humanity.
You want like when you go to heaven, whatever that's called.
I don't think heaven exists, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but what's the word when you go to heaven? The rapture. That also sounds bad too.
That's like preachy.
But I don't know what you want. But you're going to be a zombie and you're going to hurt people.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because you hurt so many people in your normal life.
And they don't know they're dealing with a zombie.
I would like to become a zombie, so FYI. I want to like fight for my life if I could just succeed. But then you get to the point with every apocalypse scenario where it's like, do you want to just live like this?
Yeah.
Like in this fucking...
I started watching a fucked up apocalypse movie the other day that had... It's called Orion. It's on Hulu. Have you seen like any kind of preview for that at all?
No.
It's got David Arquette in it.
Okay.
As a guy who's
that's Chandler, right?
No.
What am I thinking?
Courtney Cox was married to David Arquette. David Arquette did like
I'm thinking Chandler because she was married to Chandler as well. Because Friends is...
We both have a secret small little love of Friends because who doesn't?
Friends is great.
Friends is...
I watched
the movie. Love Friends?
Someone tell me the movie where Chandler like... smokes weed and he becomes disassociated forever because I smoked weed and then I felt like I was that movie and it scared the shit out of me.
I don't know what you're
talking
about.
It's a very weird movie that probably no one else has ever seen. Like all of our references.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Until I looked them up on YouTube later and it turns out they're very real.
Yeah, they're all very real. Anyway, Orion's Belt.
But it was I had to turn it off because it was making me really uncomfortable at like 3 a.m. But there's only like 3 people in the whole cast, and one of them is David Arquette, and he keeps hearing a voice in his mind telling him that he's Orion, but he's in this apocalypse-style scenario, and so you see him like rummaging through garbage, and like he skins a rat to eat it, and then he's like sleeping under a bunch of garbage to like hide himself from the elements and everything like that.
Yeah,
and it's like,
this all sounds pretty normal.
I wouldn't want to live like that.
That's what I mean.
And then
even like, if there's an apocalypse and you do live, you have to like rebuild society. There's no internet or fun shit.
So
it's just, but then eventually there's like 6 people. You have to scavenge for food every day. I'm not built for this. Fucking let me be a zombie. It might be tight for like a week, but then it's gonna fucking suck forever, and that's just what it is forever. You can't rebuild the world.
Can't charge your jewel after a while.
No, you can't jerk off to.
Oh, I'm jerking off. You think I'm
like
jerking
porn.
off in the apocalypse?
Just jerk off to memories in the apocalypse.
Hey, sometimes you'd never just jerk off to a memory.
No, all my memories are bad.
What's wrong with jerking off to memories?
We're at
different levels of sad. It's fine.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never been that sad to where I'm jerking off to memories.
I am.
My memories are bad.
Ugh.
I watched Kids for the first time.
Yeah, how was that?
Bad.
Yeah,
bad and sad and upsetting.
A lot of terminology in that movie that seems a little doesn't hold up well in 2018.
But to be honest, nothing in the movie holds up well.
Yeah,
I'd heard a lot of talk about it. I was familiar with the plot, but I was like, feel like this is something I should see.
Yeah,
it wasn't something I needed to see.
No,
and I don't like white kids using the N-word in the movie.
Yeah, I don't like white kids using the N-word.
I also don't like rape, and that's pretty much all that movie has to offer.
That is one of my big triggers. Yeah, I don't like that.
Rape and white kids saying the N-word. Yeah, very upsetting to me.
White kids raping while saying the N-word is probably my least favorite thing in the world.
Them all
of them. If you participate in that activity, you don't deserve to be a living human being anymore.
No, but Kids is just pretty unpleasant.
I had a
interesting twist, but still very unpleasant.
I had a really weird godlike moment this week that, like, you
keep bringing up godlike moments.
Yeah,
it's concerning.
Okay, so like, you ever have those moments in life where everything just kind of falls into place? Yeah, and you're like, this is finally happening, and you get to live it out and do it, and then everyone talks to you about it later.
Mm-hmm.
So at work, there was a problem at work with someone that came in. And then that
was me.
Yeah, it was you being a huge dick per usual.
Well, yeah, fuck retail employees.
And so she decided to call the store afterwards and asked to speak with the manager. So of course I was like, well, I am the manager. What can I do for you? And she goes, well, the stupid fucking person at first did this. And I was like, okay, this is a good start. And then she goes, yeah, and then she called over some manager and he was just a big weirdo with a bad haircut.
And so that doesn't sum it up. I don't know what does.
I don't know what does either. And so at the same time, it was admirable because she clearly knew my whole life in the 30 seconds she dealt with me. But I got pissed off because you don't disrespect my name like that. So I was like, well, why don't you go ahead and what did he do? Because I'm not sure who you're talking about. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what happened?
You mean our model employee?
I was like, you mean our Christ-like employee we have here at the store? And so she went on to explain how very unhelpful he was and rude he was and terrible.
Yeah, this all sounds about right.
Yeah, and so I told her that I was unfortunately...
Guess what, bitch? It's me.
Well, I stood there and I said, well, miss, I would really, really love to help you out, but unfortunately, I'm the big weirdo with the bad haircut, and so... I feel a little bit offended and I'm not really inclined to help you out. And she goes, well, I don't see what the problem with that is. My daughter's a tattoo artist and her friends all call each other weirdos. And I was like, well, I'm not friends.
I love when people try to spin their
thing. And then I said, well, I'm not friends with your daughter.
Yeah.
And then she goes, well, you just seem very sensitive. Maybe you should just get a different haircut. If you called me. and I told her, I was like,
it was me calling.
I told her, I was like, I like my haircut. I've had it for a couple of years and people don't seem to mind it. And then she goes, you know what? You're just sensitive. You could have called me an old bag and I wouldn't have cared. And I said, well, that's the difference between you and me is I don't call people names when I don't get what I want. Is there anything else I can do for you?
That must have been so exciting.
It was so exciting. And then everybody on all the registers around me, I realized, was like looking at me take this phone call because I'm clearly just standing there leaning on a monster cooler, just taking this phone call in front of, everybody. And yeah, this is why I get so much goddamn respect at work.
Yeah, I love those scenarios. I love when you're around people. One time, I always forget about this until something like this comes up. Me and my sister were at Woodman's getting some beer, and there was this kid, I think it was a Tool shirt, which already paints a good picture.
Yeah.
And he was just meandering around really weirdly. Yes, playing that one bass line. He had just come from Guitar Center, playing that for 3 hours. And we had noticed him when we get in the car, and we're sitting there waiting to pull off, and she rolls down the window, and we light up cigarettes. And I noticed he had gotten in the driver's seat next to her and rolled down the window. And she goes, yeah, and then that fucking weird little piece of shit in the Tool shirt. And I just looked over at him, and I was fucking dying when people say shit. And then we pulled away, and I was like, he was in the car next to you, and he heard everything. And she was like, well, good. When you get to experience people talking shit about someone right next to them they have no affiliation with, it's either really sad and upsetting, or it's like perfect, like the kid in the Tool shirt, who's probably listening now and is again devastated.
I hope you took all 3 tracks from 10,000 Days and made the mega track, dumbass.
Speaking of hilarious incidents, we went to Chicago.
Yes, we certainly did, which once again was a completely rained out day. I don't know what it is about us having fun.
We get it, God.
Yeah, we get it, God.
I don't
We're
know
not
what
supposed to be happy.
specifically done, but it's getting excessive.
Yeah, like I don't know what I keep trying to think of something horrible that I might have done to deserve this, and I can't even come up with anything.
I'm thinking maybe we've done enough little things to really.
It's just added up over time like a bar tab.
Yeah. Speaking of bar tabs, we stopped over at Richard's.
Shout out to Richard's.
The greatest bar. And smoked some cigarettes and drank some beers. And we went to see Mount Eerie.
Yes, we did. Which
I think we should explain for the people. He's like a folk artist, would we say? Indie acoustic.
Indie folk poetry, I would almost say. Because it seems halfway spoken word, halfway sung.
Yeah, it's like that
stuff.
type of like stream of consciousness folk, where it's just like, this is my day, and I woke up and I put on pants and I went to the store. Shit that normally I would not be a fan of, but unfortunately his wife passed away from cancer.
Yes.
And he has made 2 projects just dedicated to that. And it is some of the most raw emotional shit I've ever heard
in my life.
I can't think of another like that type of shit that's just that devastating.
I tried explaining it to different people the day after we saw it, but it's very hard to explain because it's like it's so if you've lost someone, you definitely relate a lot to what he talks about and what he says. There was a lot of moments during the show where I didn't cry at all like we joked about, but
very choked up.
I got choked up quite a bit because there was a lot of lines about just like loss and like he really
overall it's very relatable, but then there's parts of it that are so damn specific. Like I've lost people, but no one like losing a partner or a child or more so than a parent, like someone closer. And there's parts about like him like putting her ashes in the yard and then rolling around in the grass with his daughter and finding a chunk of her bone and then relating it like, is this a piece of a bone that used to touch me? Like very, very, very sad.
Sad. The one that really gets me is the one about the crow, where his daughter was having dreams about the crow and he's asking like, is that you coming in the dreams? And every time I see a crow, I ask, is it you, or is it just birds migrating? And like that hit me really hard because I'm one of those guys who looks for a lot of meaning and things like that. So when I'm going through something very emotional, I look for a lot of meaning, like this is supposed to happen because of this and this is a sign, blah blah blah. So there's
so many little lines, like the one about like putting the pictures up so they surprise him and then he cries, or the one where he's making breakfast and his daughter picks out a record and it's his wife who also made music, and she's so young that she doesn't understand what happens, but she knows that that's mom, and then he's just like, I'm sobbing and eating eggs again. And it's just, motherfucker. So it's a very upbeat show, obviously. Like a lot of wooing. Slim could not stop wooing. It was very insensitive. Woo! And yet at points you could even see him like visibly breaking down while playing the songs.
Well, and I just want to set the mood for everybody listening. When you listen to the albums, there's instrumentation on there. It has like a full band sound. This was just him with a guitar. Yeah. So it was just an acoustic guitar, just him up on the stage. He wasn't dressed up or anything. He was just really in just plain pants and a plain t-shirt.
Flip-flops.
Like it was honestly one of the most emotionally bare things I've ever seen in my life.
We just walked right up there and started. He only stopped like one time to talk, and it was about him leaving the house that all of this sadness had happened
3 days prior.
Yeah, he had
to the
just
show.
left it, and how he thinks he's done playing these songs, which was exciting that we were able to see it. It
Yeah.
is like very sad. I think I'm happy that he's gonna be done playing the songs.
Well, yeah,
because
and that's how
Jesus Christ,
that's how I
can't
felt about it,
imagine.
because it's like you could see just the way he held himself, because he also sold his own merchandise. So we
Yes.
got to meet him briefly and bought both of the albums. We both bought both of the albums, which in a way I felt better doing that than I did buying merch at any other show, because it's like he just moved into a house with his daughter. He's clearly finally working on getting over his wife and stuff, like as much as one can.
Oh yeah,
You know, and so it's like clearly it made me very happy to see that place
put
pretty
some
much
money
packed,
right
because
in.
it's like,
oh yeah, so it's very packed.
So and a lot of people were buying merch, a lot of people were there, so it's like I feel like, you know, even through his grief and stuff like that, because this has to be one of the most insanely painful things to do, because because when did the first album come out? That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2016.
And then now only just came out within the last couple of months,
March
didn't
or
it?
something, I believe.
And so he's been dealing with this pain and this trauma and everything like that. And he has a song about it where he talks about going to a music festival, flying out and playing these songs about
the title
death.
track now only, because I think that project was made like immediately following it, once he had to go play the shows.
Yeah.
And like, so there's two. The first one, A Crow Looked at Me, is like more in the moment, like everything. And I read the like poster that came with. Inside it has a lot of details of like how this even came to be. And why
beautiful
it came out.
vinyls.
It's very nice. And then the second one is like the aftermath of playing the shows, and that's why, like I said, it's nice that he's gonna be done, because I honestly would have. It was beautiful to see, and it was something special to see, I feel like, but I feel like he shouldn't be playing those songs. I'd rather have never seen it live if he's just not out there playing those songs, because it's got to be fucking.
Well, and I think that that's what made it feel so special to be there. It's like this was the last time he's going to be doing this. It's like it felt like he was really letting go of a lot there, you know?
It was,
and honestly, going to that show really made me appreciate a lot of things about life afterwards. Like when I was driving home from your house afterwards, I was just kind of thinking about, you know, you and the rest of the dads and the people I have really close to me right now, you know? And it's like,
if we all died.
Well, and it's
and
like
left you alone.
Well, and I thought about it, but not in like a depressing way. Like it really just made me appreciate the little things about everyone that I love, because it's like, because he has the one song on the end of Now Only where he's like, people get cancer and die, people get into car crashes and die, and it's like, you know, things like that do happen. So seeing that much sadness and stuff, it was almost life-giving in a way.
Oh yeah.
And I like to think that that's really the best memory and honor of his wife, because he did these projects, and with his pain, he was able to take his pain and create a better life and future for their daughter.
And
together,
it also definitely helps people. This was obviously a seated show. As soon as it started,
huge mosh pit as soon as it started.
It was the weirdest, because the seats,
circle pit.
Throwing the seats I thought was unpleasant, but I understand.
It
with that
didn't
raw
go
emotion.
in rhythm with what he was
not
which
at all.
I found very
and the
strange.
circle kept changing directions, which is always
it was
very
like
confusing.
it was like a flash
and
mob,
the woman
but
trying to get
no one
people
told us
drinks
about
kept
it.
walking right through the mosh pit.
And no one touched her. It was incredible.
No one touched her.
Had
Very
a full tray of
respectful
drinks at one point.
But I will say, like, as soon as the first song started, because he just comes up there and gets right into it. I've never been in any scenario where I can audibly hear like the audience crying. Like I could hear just people around me just crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, all of this is so sad. And like you could hear people crying, but what you could also hear, if we can harp on this real quick, check out Mount Eerie. If you've dealt with a loss, proceed with caution. It is, even if you haven't dealt with a loss, when I listened to both projects, I cried both times.
I just want to say that when I listened to the first project, my grandpa had passed probably about 8 to 10 months prior to that. And listening, it was very cathartic in a way, because it's music. If you have lost someone, it helps you deal with that in a way. Even
you don't feel alone so much.
Well, things you didn't even realize that you may have been dealing with, you know, because it's things when you hear someone else say it and you're like, oh, someone else did have that thought. Someone else is feeling that way, you know. So it's like a solidarity thing, but at the same time, it helps you understand a bit more what you're going through, because you can see where he connected the pieces and was able to put it into words where you couldn't sometimes. Yeah,
so definitely check it out. It is phenomenal, but yeah, like I said, it is a very rough listen. Probably the roughest thing I've listened to music wise ever. But one thing you should never do is two rows in front of us. There was I want to say there was 3 women. It seemed like it was 3. They were
it was a trio of women.
It was a trio of older women.
3 musketeers, let's say.
Yeah. And the one on the end, I seen her drinking. I
several.
Yeah, several. I bought a beer when we got there. I'm just trying to keep it
The
going.
champagne of beers.
Yeah, I bought the champagne of beers.
Miller High Life.
And then as soon as he came out, I felt bad drinking it while he was playing any of the songs. So when he would like
it
pause
felt
briefly,
disrespectful,
I would
yeah.
like clap very hard because I was like, this is great. And then I would try to chug a bunch of it. And then eventually I was like, you know what? Put the champagne of beers down. Listen to this man dealing with his grief. This woman proceeded to drink several drinks. And
get up and get several drinks during the
which,
show.
yeah, also people are getting drinks, so you're listening. It's a man and his acoustic guitar.
Very
it's
quiet,
mic'd, but it's very quiet,
intimate.
and you're just hearing like psh and like bottles and shit, which was also unpleasant.
Very disrespectful.
But, yeah, talking disrespectful. This woman proceeded to laugh throughout different points.
Let that sink in for a second.
Yeah,
with everything we just told you, if
Yeah.
you're still listening to the show, this woman proceeded to like look at her friends and like
yeah,
with her mouth
she
open,
kept, like nudging her friend. And her friend who looked like very, and the person in front of her was two people who had their like head on each other's shoulders crying, and I'm like, you fucking cunt. If we can be honest,
like, and that's a harsh word. I cannot stand behind
No,
calling a woman
but
that. But
you
in
know.
this situation,
like imagine if
that was your grief you were putting
Yeah,
out there,
imagine if
and someone
you were-
cackled at it.
Yeah, imagine if you had the ability to make the music first, and then you took that horribly devastating situation you went through, made music about it, and then performed it in front of people, and someone cackled at you. I wanted to kill that woman.
That woman's like I hate to wish like death and pain on people, but like she
I
needs
haven't-
Jesus for
I
fuck's sake.
haven't
It was
met
horrible.
Someone that disrespect. I wanted to meet her. I kept hoping when we stood up, she would turn around, and I was just gonna be like, "You are the worst person I have ever seen
You
in
and
my
me
life."
this is what we did immediately after the show. Because what it is there's a part on Now Only where he talks about, like I mentioned, flying out to a music festival and hanging out against like Skrillex's bus. And this is what he says verbatim. He talks about like hanging out on against Skrillex's bus and doing these songs for these kids, and then seeing like a Ferris wheel and all this fun festival shit and thinking about his dead wife.
Yeah.
And she's like laughing when he's talking about, and then I'm
also
sitting
a
there on
song-
Skrillex's bus, and she's like, ha 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 ha. And
There's
it's like,
also
you
a song
gotta.
where he talks about when he was in his early 20s thinking he impregnated a woman he had a one-night stand with.
Yeah.
And that whole thing is...
That fucked me up. I
Yeah,
just want
that
to say
whole
that
thing
right
is
now.
weird
That fucked me
without
up.
context, but it's meant to be like a juxtaposition of like that moment and how like he was so scared about being a dad, and then he met his wife and was a dad, and then she died. So
Yeah.
it's meant to be that. And at one point in the song, he says the woman had her period, and he went on being like a fun 20-something, not caring about shit. And when he said period, that woman laughed so hard and was like...
And it's like, don't you fucking have
And
one
I'm
every
like,
month?
Yeah, or are you not... like, yeah, we both were...
What do you call it? What
I
does she
can't,
call
like-
it where she laughs at the
I
word
feel like,
period?
Yeah, it'd be like if we just laughed at the word dick in that circumstance. Which, yeah, in that circumstance, it might not have been funny because he's going through all this shit.
No.
But yeah, it's hard to even explain. But this woman
If
was
you know
like,
who that woman was, if you were with
Yeah.
that woman,
If you couldn't
I'm
get us to
very
that
sorry.
woman,
if you were with that
I will
woman,
get a
I'm very
woman
sorry
to
for
give
you.
her a fade.
I will
And I'm
hit.
not talking
I don't want to
haircuts.
say I'll hit that woman.
I would have
but
hit that woman that night if we can be honest.
To be 100% honest,
because she would have turned up. That's what the whole. And then it's one of those things you can't quit fixating on. Because I'm like, I want to tell her she's the worst, and then she's gonna talk shit to me because she's drunk, and then I hope another woman hits her because I don't want to have to. But I feel like you should get punched in the face.
I feel like there was a lot of
gender.
women there that would have been fine
Oh, it
hitting
would
her.
have been crazy. But
If you know this woman, let her know that we hate her.
yeah, let her know she's the worst person
That we have ever
discussed.
discussed about. She is
And-
worse than the train woman.
I know. I thought of
She
the
is
train
worse.
woman. The train woman
How
looks like
come
a saint
every
now.
single horrible woman we've ever met has to be related to Chicago in some way?
There's just too many people in Chicago.
Too
That's
many
what I was
horrible
talking
fucking
about.
people in
You want to
Chicago.
live in Chicago? There's
Yes,
too many
I do.
people.
Because I need to add the good ratio people up.
No, there's not enough. There's more of the women laughing and cackling at Mount
Well,
Eerie.
then maybe
and
they
eating
can
pretzel
maybe they
necklaces.
can catch a fade with me.
Maybe they should. We don't condone it at all. But if anyone deserves,
We are an
it,
equal opportunity fade catching establishment, if I remember correctly.
I guess we've sowed our oats on that one. Come catch it, bitch.
Come
Also,
catch it, bitch.
Also, that trip, I think, should be sponsored by, I believe it was the Lincoln Park Zoo that had spiders that were anything but itsy bitsy. It was a billboard we saw several times. When we left, it was a rainy day. It was raining everywhere, crazy. And when we left holding 2 brand new records apiece.
Which I tucked under my shirt because I didn't want them to get wet.
Mine got thin water damage on the top. It's upsetting, but it's also the memory, so I'll live with it.
It's like tears, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been tears, and it will be later when I listen to them by myself tonight.
Don't do
then
that.
We had to
never do that.
Then we had to drive home, and it was like one of the top 10 rainy storms I've ever had to drive through on the highway.
But it was only for like the first 10 to 15 minutes, though.
Very weird. And all we could keep seeing was billboards that said at whatever zoo. I'm thinking it has to be Lincoln Park.
Like Brookfield or Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
But it said the spiders are anything but itsy bitsy.
It was just big, a big billboard of a spider, and it said anything but itsy bitsy. And all we could
We had like a 20-minute talk about giant spiders in this exhibit.
So go up to like the, glass one where you go and see like the gorillas or the lions or the tigers or the bears.
And just the spider legs tapping on the glass as they like, you can hear them like tapping, going like, walking around. You can hear them cracking bones of whatever they're eating in the exhibit, and the kids are just.
Someone has to go in and feed it because someone has to feed everything.
I feel like someone just has to dump whatever they eat in there, and then they just shut and lock a door. Really
that's
quick.
Usually what it is, but with 8 legs, and they can hang like right above, like spiders.
Do you know how big balls do you have to work?
I thought you were going to ask how big the spider balls are.
To go in and clean and take care of the giant spider exhibit.
But what if it's like the thing where people, get real close with the lion and they can lay down on it and it's cuddly, so it's a big spider.
I want to see the National Geographic documentary about the Spider-Man, like Spider-Man they call him, and like. And here's his Gwen Stacy. Like the whole thing is just Spider-Man puns the entire time. He's wearing a Spider-Man shirt on his Zookeeper.
The webs have to be big.
Well, I feel what if the spider could weave like a special web for him,
like Charlotte's Web?
Yeah, but it's like a real special like soft blanket.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Like it has special silk for like the webs it like spins for him.
And then it becomes like that situation where the lady had the pet gorilla and she fed it Xanax and it ripped your friend's face off. You remember this?
That was a chimpanzee. I remember because Suicide Silence used the 911 call as an
I
interlude
wanted
in their
to use
album.
the 911 call on anything because it's so
it's an incredible 911 phone. Like that poor fucking woman. But like if you want to talk about an exciting 911 phone call,
if you're like, come over to my house, I have a chimpanzee. Don't worry, I fed it Xanax to chill it out. I'm gonna be like, I'll catch you later. Why don't you come over to my house? We'll hang out. Leave the
where
chimpanzee
there's no
at
chimpanzee
home.
on Xanax.
Yeah, if you're gonna just be hanging around the chimpanzee on Xanax, you have to be prepared for your face or other appendages to be ripped off.
You know that
but
woman.
You know that woman face off.
You know that woman's logic was it works on people, so it has to work on chimpanzees.
I don't know who's just like, let's give Xanax to the chimp.
Why did she have a chimpanzee?
She was like, I think it was like an 8-year thing. I could be wrong, but she had it for like a long time.
I seem to remember that. Yeah, it was like a trained animal.
Yeah,
she had.
Yeah, it was like her pet, and she like had the license to do it, whatever. Never had any problems. She had a reason for giving it Xanax. I can't remember. And then it tore her friend's face off, which must be crazy if you ever like. I wish that lady at Mount Eerie got her face torn off.
I also wish she would get her face torn off.
But just imagine, imagine we're hanging out and something rips my face off in front of you.
But, like, how do you rip a face off? You do,
like, chimpanzee.
Rip, like, part of it?
She probably had, like a little neck. I feel like if I had to rip a face off, I would try to go neck up. Because the forehead's tight. I don't know how old and wrinkly the woman was, but there had to be
I'm just thinking about
the
schematics involved here.
I think we're all thinking about the Xanax Chimp Schematics.
I mean, how tight? Like, that's got to be like, I can't say that word on the air. That one word type strength, like, just peeling too. Because I just watched that guy peel a rat in that movie. So now I know what it's like to see something get peeled. And
Or maybe it was with ears, because as you know, I can rip an ear off.
That's not been proven. Allegedly, you can rip an ear off.
I definitely believe it.
Could definitely happen at a show this year. I feel like of the concerts we have planned for us
like
this
another
year,
Mount Eerie show. I just reach up in front and someone thinks I'm like handing a tissue, and I just rip ears off.
I wanted to rip that one girl's ears off.
We all want to rip that woman's ears off.
She doesn't deserve to listen to me. Yeah, this wasn't like a teenager.
She looked old in the face.
Yeah,
saying 40 to 50. And that's too long for her to be in this world. But yeah, do you want to get into some submissions?
We did have submissions this week, didn't we?
We did have submissions. The one I sent you, I feel like it had been covered, but it's from Splendivorous at mydick@felloff.com.
Always, it's still not bigdick@smalldick.com.
It's never big dick at
You
small
will
dick.
never top bigdick@smalldick.com.
Try to top big dick at
You
small
can
dick.
try, but I don't think anyone ever will.
Well, give it a shot. Weirdest place you've shit. You said I feel like we covered this. What was yours? Just give us a quick rundown.
Playground when I was a kid. At nighttime, I was running around town.
See, I don't think we covered this at all.
Really? I seem to remember talking about this
Did
on
we?
the show.
Can we get a fact check? Has anyone heard of the playground?
Okay, I'm getting from the current fact check that no one has heard about me shit. Okay. So I was
gonna scrap this question because you were like, we've already covered
because
it.
I swear I've told you this. Maybe I was like drunk with you and told you the story.
Yeah, we've told each other things that haven't come up on here and never should.
Yeah. If you ain't never fucking lied about that, Jesus.
I don't lie.
I'm lying about something. I'm constantly
weirdest
lying to you.
Weirdest place.
A playground, I'm gonna say. And the story behind it is I was a kid and I was running around doing some hood shit with my friends, let's say. And we just happened to be by a playground in the town we were in. And
how old?
I want to say 12.
Okay.
Maybe like young, like preteen. I want to say like I definitely wasn't. I was old enough to know better, but reckless.
Not old enough to do
reckless. Better. Yeah, that's it. Old enough to know better, but not old enough to do better. Yeah. And so now if we're gonna mention it, but we were running around. It was I remember very specifically. It was nighttime, and that's why I did it. And the playground had wood chips, so I took my shoe and dug a pit with the wood chips because what I was thinking because it was one of those I had to shit moments, where we've talked about this on the show.
It was gonna happen.
It was the turtle was peeking. That's all there is to it.
See?
It was a moment.
Again with your terminology.
Yeah, you've never heard that one?
Oh, I've heard it. I try not to.
Dry.
Yeah.
That's what you get for being friends with me.
Yeah, I'm regretting it. But
as
continue
we all do.
Talking about shitting
and
wood
so
chips.
It was nighttime, and I told all my friends, I was like, I really got to shit. I'm gonna go take a shit, and they were like, where? And I was like, just right over there. And so see,
it's funny because I believe I still will hear this from you at some point.
Well, and so what I decided to do was I didn't want to just take a shit on top of the playground somewhere because I didn't want because I didn't want to risk a kid just stepping in it, or just or kids just
bury it in wood chips,
or because no one's gonna see it until the next morning anyway. It's not like they have a janitor that goes and does a sweep of the playground before school,
I think they're gonna after this story.
Well, and so it's like
was it a school playground?
It was a school
that's
playground.
Illegal.
But I was 12, so I was like a preteen.
Oh, so it's not illegal if you're 12. I missed out on a lot.
I think it's more illegal to be a grown man doing it than a child.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
It's more illegal.
I don't know if it's more illegal or just more upsetting and
more
frowned
upsetting
upon.
and frowned upon, definitely. Yeah. So I took my shoe and I dug a little pit in a corner of the playground and I took a shit there and then covered it back up like I was in the woods.
Okay.
And then I hope no one ever found it.
I'm gonna guess at some point
somebody had to smell it. Or step on the wood chip somewhere and just sink down a little bit into it,
or slip and fall face first into shit-covered wood chips that cut their face and then gave them an infection.
If they slipped and fell face, I can still see in my mind where I took the shit. If they slipped and fell face first,
should we go look if it's still there?
The playground is gone. I can actually tell the playground is gone.
You got the playground taken apart.
Yeah, it was my fault.
People keep shitting in the wood chips. Demolish this motherfucker. No more of this.
10 years later, after I took this shit, they decided to tear it down because I started a trend that could not be stopped. Apparently,
I signed the petition to tear it down because people wouldn't stop shitting.
You led the Facebook movement, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I did. Oh my God, was it a real messy shit?
It was a solid one from what I remember. It wasn't like a wet shit. It wasn't runny. It was solid. It wasn't a brick, but it was a log.
Again, what I was because mine has this issue. How'd you wipe your ass?
Sock. Took sock off.
I wouldn't have asked.
Wipe. Turn sock inside out. Wipe again. Bury the sock with the wood chips.
Okay, so there's a shitty sock. Shit.
Buried about a foot deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
It's gone now.
I mean,
clearly it's gone now.
It's like a time capsule.
Got cemented. They tried to remove it, and it just everyone who touched it got their family. It was like a Pharaoh's curse kind of thing.
Created a real dark tree.
Yeah.
That has a lot of bad juju in it.
A very bad looking
Mine
tree.
was I grew up next to the blood bank,
Mhm.
which I've only recently realized is a weird thing to tell people. Because I thought as a kid growing up next to one that they were plentiful everywhere, just blood banks.
Well, it's your surroundings. You assume everywhere's like that.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen another one in person.
Me either.
But anyway, so I would just do random things in their parking lot, like skate, ride bikes, hang out with friends. Like that's the most I had. And they had a porta potty there one time. So as I'll say 12 again, young enough or old enough to know better, but
Young enough to not.
young enough to not do better. So my friend was like, you should shit in the porta potty because it was like brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of had to shit. And I was like, oh, I'll shit in the porta potty. So I went in there and I shit on the floor of the porta potty. Brand new porta
Now,
potty.
how did you squat and how did you position yourself to shit on the floor of the porta potty?
You know, it's weird that doesn't really stick with me out of everything here.
Really? So like, what?
I was a smaller frame, believe it or not.
Okay.
So it was easier to
I feel
do
like
it.
the most admirable way to do it would be to squat on the seat itself,
Yeah,
but over
I
the
didn't
floor.
do that. I feel like I would have remembered that because every time I've squat on a toilet shitting into or on something, I do remember those.
Mm-hmm.
But
Good to know those all stand out as
yeah, those ones stick with me.
proud memory marks in your mind.
Yeah, I think I've brought up the Taco Bell in a
Yes.
episode
Yes, you
before,
have.
so go find that episode. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I just stood next to it. I remember it being more spacious, but again, I was a smaller man than I am now,
Mm-hmm.
and I shit a very solid long log on the floor. It was very
So you can say long.
yeah, because I didn't get as graphic with it. That's the medical terminology.
You're not the only person to tell me I'm graphic. I don't know why I'm so
I know.
graphic.
Everyone should continue to tell you until you stop being so graphic.
But I can't stop.
Anyway, so I shit on the floor of this porta potty, and then I
Graphic. I shit on the floor of a porta potty.
I defecated on the floor of a porta potty.
See, now that's
I turn and find no toilet paper, and I wasn't gonna use my sock, but luckily I lived across the street, so I had to just pull them up and go to my room and my bathroom in my house. So it kind of
nice shitty cheeks rubbing together the whole way.
It kind of came back to bite me instantly, but I showed my friend, and they were shocked that I had done it, and it did look very, very specific.
Yeah,
just like one
log.
shit in a brand new porta potty. And I feel like now as an adult, it must have been so upsetting for the workers of the blood bank to, I don't know why there was a porta potty there, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Also, it was across the street from a high rise full of fucking crack addicts and stuff.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't me, it would have been someone else.
It was going to happen eventually.
And theirs probably would have been messier.
I had a very funny story pop into my head when you were telling yours. When for a while my dad was staying in my spare bedroom, and he came home one day.
Shit in it.
No, he came home one day and there was a bunch of tears in his t-shirt, and I was
Chimpanzee on Xanax.
No, it turns out not. This was all his doing. It turns out he was going through the woods and had to shit real bad in the woods. So found a nice area to just plop and squat. Used both of his socks and told me that the socks weren't enough, so he had to get his underwear off and use his underwear. And then after he had the underwear and the socks, that he strategically balled up and whipped
I saw
into
the hand
woods.
motion. I was like, is he throwing?
Yeah, whipped him into the woods. So now walking sans underwear after a messy shit in the woods, no socks, falls through some bramble and gets all tore up, tears his shirt on a bunch of branches and thorns and shit. So he's like, yeah, so I just got done wiping my shitty ass with my long johns and tripped and fell through a bunch of bramble.
That's so much.
You think my terminology is weird? Try having a conversation with my old man.
I know it has to come from somewhere.
Oh man, if you would get so many answers if you sat down for like 10 minutes with my dad, you'd be like, oh my
I don't
god,
want the answers.
Yeah, it's probably best for everyone involved.
Jesus Christ, let's move on.
Yeah, that shit story brought up some bad memories.
Yeah, there's not a lot of shit stories that bring up good memories.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
And then next we have Senator Zathu, and that is Captain Perk at plugtalk.com.
But I don't even know how the fuck my plug talk.
And
I don't even know how the fuck my plug talk.
This is 3 quick ones.
I love 3 quick ones. Thank you.
They're a little beefy, so we'll do them one by one.
Ooh.
Number 1, I know the Dapper Dads are against prejudice, but is there ever something that you see in someone's house and immediately start judging them hard? I went to a friend's house and saw the cheapest toilet paper in the world in his bathroom, and I swear it changed my whole perspective of him.
I mean, that's definitely up my alley in terms of judgment of people. I was thinking more in terms of like you go to your, I think it's my chair when I'm like,
then knock it off because it's stressing me out.
I mean, it's just my weight shifting.
Sit still.
In the chair. Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway,
I would judge someone if I walked in their house and I saw like old like racist artifacts, like, oh, these are my grandma's, you know, and you see like some like blackface dolls. I want to say
like that, we're against prejudice specifically in that sense,
like racism and stuff.
But I mean, I definitely judge very hard constantly.
With
general
toilet paper.
That's one that I am always like.
Now I'm not a drawer looker, but like if I'm like washing my hands, I will like look around the bathroom and see like what kind of products people have out and stuff.
Yeah, I don't open things.
No, because like that's someone's business. You know, I'm not about to get up in your business, but like if it's sitting out, like I'm going to see it. Like you know, so be mindful of what you put out in your house, unless you don't want Slim to see it.
Oh yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like I judge the most on just like I do things a certain way, and then when I see like people doing other things, I'm always like, well, that's not right. In my mind, like this is the only option, and you're doing some weird shit.
See, my thing is like my situation where I grew up was, we've talked about it, you know, so it's very hard for me to go into someone's living situation and look at theirs and judge them.
See, I do the opposite because I like knew how it was to grow up. That's why like I try to keep my house a certain way because I know like the opposite of that. And I don't like judge, like I won't stop being friends with you, but I can't think of any good examples.
I mean, I can definitely think of like situations where I go over to someone's house and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with how it is, so I will make a point not to go back over there. Like really good example here. So I was hanging out with a friend this past weekend, and she has 3 dogs, sometimes 4, because she lives out in the country, and so like the neighbor dog will come over, and she goes, I'm really embarrassed about the smell in my house because I have 3 dogs. I live out in the country. They get dirty, you know, so my house really smells like dog. And I went in there, and in my opinion, the house did not smell like dog. Like in my opinion, it was very clean. It didn't smell like, you know, roses or anything like that. It smelled like a house out in the country, but it wasn't messy at all. It wasn't like, it was very well kept together. It looked like a really nice little country house. And like after sitting there for a minute with like 3 dogs sleeping around you, it kind of smells like dogs a little bit. But I was used to like horrific smell. So like when someone tells me like, oh, my house smells like dog, I think that. I had a buddy one time who I actually like enjoyed his company. I like being around him, and he was like, oh, why don't you come chill at the crib sometime? And it was like a weird duplex, and the neighbors downstairs were really messy, and so the smell kind of permeated upstairs, and then he didn't keep it very clean, and he had a big dog in like the upstairs of a duplex, so the dog was running around, and that smelled bad because it wasn't kept up well. For me, it's more about like if you have really good upkeep on your house, I don't judge, but I definitely will be like, this is where my comfort line is with it, so this determines whether or not I want to come back over here or not. You know, this is going to make it seem whether we're like hangout friends or like I come over friend, you know, because there's a very specific line there. I
hate with like smells like cat piss. I've had
cat
people's
piss
houses
is a huge
where I'm
one.
like, you gotta fix this cat pee. My biggest thing, I think, now pondering about it, is people who leave shits in their toilets. I have this happen so many times. It's fucking ridiculous.
Maybe it's part of your simulation.
Then I want a new simulation. That's where I draw the fucking line on this hellhole that I live in. But I had a friend throw a housewarming party.
Oh, no. No, that is like etiquette rule number 1.
You would think so.
Housewarming?
Housewarming.
House cooling party, you leave a shit in the toilet.
There was some warm something. So I showed up a little later, so there had been people there for hours.
So someone had shit and just not like...
But wait, let me get into this. So I had showed up late. I'd been out drinking, came over, have some beers. He's a little drunk, shows me the house. So there's like what you show people, you know what I mean? He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So he's showing me like everything about the house. So he shows me the master bedroom, and then he shows me the master bedroom bathroom, which leads me to believe that it wasn't foreign shit. And I like peer in. I'm not really like, I don't give a fuck when people show me their house most of the time, unless there's like really cool things. I've been in houses.
I generally get the setup.
I get the gist.
Bedroom, living room, kitchen.
Yeah, if you're fancy,
yeah. And your bedroom, living room, kitchen isn't just one big room where you have things in different corners.
You've been to my house.
Yeah, you've been to my storage unit.
But so I just peer in, and I'm just trying to see how big it is. And there's a toilet in the corner, and there's just a huge shit in it. And he lives there with his girlfriend, and I'm like, this I feel like wasn't shown to everyone. I wish it wasn't shown to me. And he just got his shit in the toilet. Flush the goddamn toilet. I don't know if I've ever left a shit in a toilet. It is a very serious thing with me.
I have.
I've left a
several
shit
times
on a porta potty. I know you have.
For you.
Yeah, and fuck you. It's triggering and it's upsetting. And I can never forget what it looks like. And it sticks with me. I can see everyone's shits that they leave. If it's a public bathroom, I'm like, whatever. Still fuck you. But this is my gamble here. If I'm in someone's house, flush your toilets. There shouldn't be shits in your toilets.
That is true. Yeah.
All right. Quick one, number 2. I was just recently listening to Dedication 6 by Lil Wayne, and I feel like he might be one of the real pioneers of mumble rap. Don't know if you guys are interested in debating it on the show, but felt like sharing. Also, from this point forward, I want all of 21 Savage's beats forwarded directly to Wayne. I could see it. I feel like he's just such an influence, regardless. I feel like he's gotten mumbly, mumbly in the past years.
I actually saw a really interesting
I also
video.
saw the video you're about to say.
The evolution
rhyme
of
scheme.
mumble.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the rhyme scheme one that just got posted with
no,
it
was
from Dedication.
It was an evolution of mumble rap, like where mumble rap came from.
Yeah,
it was
I've
this
seen that
YouTube
too.
series I've been watching about like where evolutions of different kinds of rap came from. And they talk about it where it was actually Future that pioneered the mumble rap thing, because he was, I forget what song he was cutting in the studio, but he said he was so high off codeine that he couldn't move his mouth.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, yeah. And that's how I know, me too. And so that's where the mumble rap came from. But I could see there's lots of rappers where you can listen to like some earlier, some might even say some old head stuff back in the day, and you can hear where traces of like mumble rap like started to come from.
2 big people that really got mumble rap popping without realizing it is 50 Cent, because he was shot in the mouth. Like, you want to talk mumbling? Like his early shit. His early shit. Even before that, even after that, he has always mumbled because he has to. Or even like Kanye when he had his mouth wired shut. Like that was. Like
I was going to point out Through the Wire.
Yeah, that song is all mumbling because his mouth is wired shut.
Well, I also thought one of the interesting things that I've noticed become a trend in rap music is when we first met, we would listen to a lot of different rap in the car on our smoke breaks. And we were listening to Chance the Rapper. You were showing me acid rap for the first time. And I commented on how strange his voice sounds. And you were like, yeah, I really like strange sounding rappers because they sound more unique. And you just seem to remember them more, you know. And there's a couple other ones like Danny Brown, the Loopers, just different rappers that we would listen to that had very unique voices, and that slowly started to become a trend overall. And so I think that's kind of where some of the popularity in mumble rap comes from, because to be a mumble rapper, and I actually made this a point of this when I was talking to Colby when I did the Gore Score episode, because he's not a fan of rap at all, but he loves Scarlord, it turns out, because everybody fucking loves Scarlord.
I don't know about that, but
everybody should love Scarlord. I let you come in me.
Yeah, I've had that demanded to be turned off.
That's all it is, but it's so good. But in my opinion, with mumble rap, it's more about showing off what a producer can do and then having sort of a gimmick on the song, you know, kind of like how with EDM music back in the day, it was like you had like Deadmau5 do a song, but then he had 2 or 3 different pop singers on it. You know, that's kind of, in my opinion, mumble rap is like the pop rap like we had back in the day when we had like pop rap, so to speak.
But I feel like even before like mumble rap was pop, like Chief Keef is a huge pioneer for everything you hear right now.
Anything drill I feel like is super influenced.
Because that, like I feel like Chief Keef predates Future mumbling, if we're going to be honest. And I feel like so many people look up to Chief Keef when you look at all these kids. Well, I feel like Wayne's influence is like ridiculous too, because everyone like our age and younger was so fucking influenced by
I feel like with Wayne, he was that perfect mix of like a solid flow with an odd voice, because Wayne,
and just punchlines and especially with the auto-tune, because you have to do more of like the to get it to go more crazy. So I feel like once he started abusing auto-tune and using it more and the coding and everything, he's gotten more mumblier in like the past couple of years. If you listen to Carter 3, it's not as mumbly.
No.
Now with all the shit, it's definitely, I can see where you would get that from with this.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I definitely say in relation to the question, I would say Wayne's sound definitely influenced mumble rap. but not as much as some other people might have. And in terms of all of 21 Savage's beats going to Wayne, I can think of a lot of other rappers I'd rather hear on 21's beats than Lil Wayne personally.
Yeah, I had someone that I'm friends with on Facebook when Dedication 6 came out, which I listened to. Wasn't it in like 2 parts for some reason?
Yeah,
I listened to the first part. It was fine. I miss old Wayne. I hope he gets back, and he can still be super good. But I seen someone I'm friends with, I can't remember who, was like, oh, I love when Wayne does these mixtape series because he finally does like a better thing over the beats and uses them well. And like, I'd prefer to hear Bank Account by 21 Savage than like Wayne's version of just like freestyling, barring out. You know what I mean?
See, I prefer, when it comes to the Bank Account beat, I really like Joyner Lucas's freestyle.
Well, yeah,
that
everybody
he did over it.
likes Joyner Lucas.
I love Joyner Lucas.
Oh, no. But,
huge Joyner Lucas.
Yeah, I feel like anytime I've heard a song already, I have a hard time, like, it's not like it used to be. Like,
Right,
old Wayne, he could take a beat. Like, when I hear Swag Surf, it's Wayne to me instead of fucking whatever the fuck the other guy.
What was that one beat everybody was hopping on in the late aughts where it was like, it's skinny, it's.
Oh, Drop?
Yeah, everybody.
I think of Earl.
I think of Earl had the best Drop
who
remix.
Was it? Was that Rich Boy? Who had Drop originally? I don't fucking know. No,
it was Rich Boy.
Was it? I thought
we need a fact check on that.
Yeah,
but
someone
I think
fact
it was
check.
Rich Boy.
Drop by Rich Boy.
Earl, and then Cuddy had a fantastic freestyle over that one too.
I don't remember that.
Man,
do you remember how many Milli freestyles?
Oh my god! Did you know? Did you
they
know
made
that
a project out of all the?
Did you know that a Milli is actually the only song that's ever been recorded ever?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
very vividly. Literally everyone rapped over that beat. It was crazy. There was like a 2-hour mix of just everyone's freestyles over it. It was
I bet you
upsetting.
I bet you we could definitely find it on YouTube. We should.
I don't have the time in my day.
I think that's what I'm gonna do when I go home
tonight. Oh,
I'm gonna go home, play Fortnite, and listen to the 2-hour mix of a Milli.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
A Milli.
And then number 3. Also, I want more terrible dad jokes on the show. Make that happen, fellas. Have you ever heard the story about the Yeti that got married too young? Of course not. Yetis always have cold feet.
Well, I tried to catch a cloud the other day, but I missed.
I don't have one. I forgot about this submission.
Went fishing the other day, caught myself a big blue toonie. Not like a grand old piano toonie, though.
That one was not good.
Yeah.
See, that's why we can't. They're very hit or miss.
It's a dad joke. Well, they're all hit or miss.
Yeah, but that one was just bad. That was a bad joke.
Okay, so if you go to the Caribbean islands, right? There's 5.
What?
No, listen, hear me out. There's three Caribbean islands, and when you go to the different islands, there's these things called Jamaican meat pies. We've talked about these.
Yes,
before.
we've talked at length. You
and
constantly bring up the box office and Jamaican meat pies.
Well, and so there's they're either with vegetable, meat, or fruit, and they all have different prices on the 3 different islands. So you go to the first island, which is like the smaller one. It's like $1 for the vegetable, 2 for the fruit, and 3 for the meat. And then you go to the next island over. That's like a bigger tourist island. So it goes to like $2, $4, and $6. And then on the third, it's the largest island, so that like triples it. So it's like $3, $6. I know this doesn't really matter, but these are just the pie rates of the Caribbean.
I fucking hate you so much. I was like, this better pay off, and I almost missed it because I was so angry about how long it was taking. Jesus Christ.
I love that.
I only ever think
joke.
of have you ever heard of Sup Dog?
What's up, dog?
Yeah, I did that to someone at a grocery store one time. I can't remember who it was, but I was like, do you think they have any Sup Dog? And they're like, it was the only time it ever worked. I'm like, what's up, dog? And I was like, not much. What about you? And I was like, I'm going to leave the fucking store now because it doesn't get better than that. That never works. Do that to someone.
What, do you know why they have barcodes on the side of Norwegian submarines?
See, you made a bad submission because now it's just
let me do this last one.
They're so long-winded. A dad joke should be like that.
Why do they put barcodes on the side of Norwegian submarines?
Why?
So when they come home, they can Scandinavian.
I want to just end this episode, honestly. It's so upsetting. So thank you. He also said, P.S. I feel like I must add, I love the show, and I now realize that was a lot of text for what was supposed to be 3 quick ones. Sorry. Don't apologize.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
I can read them quickly. So yeah, more people submit 3 quick ones.
3 at length ones aren't bad themselves.
Yeah. Thank you for your submission and your love of the show.
Yes.
And then finally, we have 3 more quick ones from someone named Curd, who is the only person who put in their actual email address
name.
So
like a big old dummy.
So yeah, if everybody
picture-
wants to send random emails to,
For erection pills and Russian wives, too.
I think he already gets those.
Oh, he's probably subscribed to a couple
yeah.
of erection pills and Russian wife services. Cole, I know you're listening to this.
But the title for this is one word. 4 filing cabinets is absurd.
Fuck!
And that's the title.
Fuck you.
Again, one word. And then 3 quick ones with a question mark.
Fuck
so
you
3
too.
quick ones. We'll go one by one. French kiss Betty White or Martha Stewart?
Martha Stewart.
Betty White.
Really?
She's a goddamn angel.
Martha Stewart.
I don't
though.
want to kiss Betty White.
I don't want to kiss Martha Stewart.
No one wants to kiss. Martha Stewart's a fucking criminal.
Yeah, that's why I want to kiss her, because she's a criminal.
I can see that. But Betty... What?
The prof song.
Oh,
She's a criminal.
Oh, I thought I wasn't up to date
No.
on some Martha Stewart news headlines. Whatever the fuck that was.
I was just singing a prof song.
I'm kissing
Catch me at Prof Outdoors doing the same shit.
kissing Betty White because she
On the
doesn't
lips? Are we talking about like a mouth kiss?
have, French kiss.
A
What are you
French
talking
kiss.
about? Betty White's anus. Oh, I feel like I showed you that, and I regret everything.
should.
But Betty White's she's gonna kick the bucket sooner than later, if we're being honest. Martha Stewart, I'll be able to kiss her 20 years from now.
Betty, have
Betty-
your people get at us. We got
Betty,
a lot
we
of
will
kisses we want to hand
French
out.
kiss you on the lips, and some will French kiss you on the anus. Upsettingly. Watch the video, or actually don't watch the video at all.
You
'cause
see me
it's,
do that bear flex in the beginning.
It is tragic. Second one, which I'm gonna read it, and then I want to jump in before we get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Big spoon or little spoon? When I read this, I thought we were talking literal spoons because I prefer the little spoon, like the normal size spoon.
Mm-hmm.
You have the big spoon, the little. So I'm like, wow, that's very specific.
I like a big spoon.
See, I hate the big spoon,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's meant to be with cuddling.
Like cuddling?
Yeah.
Well, if I
but
know,
it took me 3 times of reading this to be like, oh, cuddling.
if
not
I know
literal
him, it's
silverware.
it's definitely about cuddling. And coming from personal experience with the guy, I like being the big spoon.
I like being the little spoon.
See, I
like-
like being
I
little
like
spoon,
being
but
both. It
I'm
depends
so
on the-
big. I'm so big
Yeah,
that I
there's-
like being little spoon. When someone holds me, it's very nice.
But
But
how big is the spoon that's holding you?
Not-
That's a big spoon.
no, that's a little spoon that's usually holding a big spoon.
That's not. That's just not
Big
right.
spoons like to be held too, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm on both ends. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
if
like
I have
both.
if I have my choice,
Depends on what kind of day. Alternate, like flip over. Do
Yeah.
big spoon, little
I
spoon. You know?
more so would like to be the little spoon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to be held.
I like to be held too, but no one ever holds me.
Yeah, I mean,
You want to do some alternate spooning later?
No, not with the disgusting things you've said this whole episode.
That's fair. I can get
have
behind
Grimace spoon you.
that.
But yeah, I'll also be the big spoon. It's nice. It's just nice. It works both ways.
I
don't
like
the,
I like holding. Like it's nice.
Yeah, but are you big spoon and so you're behind them?
Yeah. So what I do,
I hate
what I do is big spoon behind, and then I'll do like the pillow with the arm, and then do like the arm wrap around.
I like that. I put the arm underneath.
Have the head right there, just right on.
Yeah, give it a little kiss. Mm-hmm.
Love you. I just start crying. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, of course. And you're just holding a pillow anyway. And then you fuck the pillow and pretend it's a grimace.
and pretend it's an
Full
orange and
circle.
just smash it, and it gets everywhere.
I hate. I feel like it's been discussed a lot. Arm underneath, falls asleep, hair in your face. Those 2 awkward erection. Those are like the 3.
I never feel awkward about my erections.
But what if you're big spooning someone that you're not romantically involved with?
I mean,
yet?
if it's a random erection, it's a random erection.
Yeah, but I always feel shame.
I don't know
feel
what
like
shame is. That's the difference between us.
I'm fucking very aware of that. But stop with your goddamn chair. It's stressing me out more than you can imagine.
A lot of things stress you out.
Yeah, I'm on the brink of
Some
know
type
what,
of breakdown.
but,
It's coming. I can feel
it's
it.
coming. This
There's a storm
podcast just
coming.
never takes a break. I realize it just never ends.
Someone asked me the other day. They were like, so you when do you do your show? I'm like, every week, and they were like, every single week you put out an episode. And I'm like, yes, we do.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast and they're going on a break, and I was like, oh, that must be nice. This is just foreseeable.
I would miss you too much if we took a break, to be honest.
I mean,
with
we
you.
could still see each other, but not make a fucking episode. I've been having issues with the goddamn fucking video that can suck my dick that no one fucking watches or subscribes to or likes or comments on. And then everything else. Yeah, I'm not going to get in. I don't want to harp on it.
You're
but
harping on it.
Imagine how I harp at home. I'm full of harps. I got a harp warehouse.
Got a harping room?
more harps than you got filing cabinets. It's fucking crazy.
Ooh.
But
That was a hot sizzler.
That's all I've got.
Dinger, dude.
Oh, I forgot about it.
You forgot about the dingers?
Oh, shit. It was such a long day.
Yeah. Okay. So before we saw Mount Eerie on Tuesday, we were supposed to work on a and we just ended up playing beer darts.
We're gonna
all
edit
day.
that out.
Yeah.
But yeah. We were supposed to work on a lot of things. Turns out we never do.
No.
We just play beer darts.
We just got some. And just kept saying, "I do
I'm
declare."
gonna bleep that out too.
Yeah, because those are a
We're gonna-
surprise. That
yeah,
are
we'll
coming.
put that somewhere.
Just put us saying "slim" as the new bleep out.
No, because then it's gonna get confusing.
I want it to get confusing.
We're supposed to work on a slam.
I want it to sound
Then we
like
got some slam.
I want it to sound like a Death Grips album.
No, then it just sounds very sexual. Yeah, dinger, bro. I don't know what happened.
That
I
day
was
was
on a lack of
wild.
sleep and too many beer darts.
I have
and-
that video like clipped down perfectly
I
to
also
where
have
you
the
can't hear
video
my
clipped
voice at
down.
all, and it's just you going, "I do declare."
Yeah, that I reached critical mass that day.
That was the video. No, critical mass was the.
Yeah, we got videos coming. Not enough of a video, but
No, it's gonna be small.
something. And then anyway, to round it out here, the third quick one is Drake overrated?
Yes.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I've been thinking about it all day.
I saw a lovely tweet that summed it up today. Why would you listen to Scorpion when you can listen to Daytona 4.256 times in a row in the same amount of time?
I hate that. I don't even like Daytona anymore.
love
People
Daytona.
have fucking ruined it because now it's just a meme. There's always one album a year that becomes a meme. Like, people don't even fuck with Daytona like that.
I do.
It's just, yeah, you do. People don't. They just do it because it was funny that Pusha dissed him and now it's the greatest album ever and Scorpion's terrible. Scorpion's another Drake album. He does this.
It's
we're
overstuffed.
finally I hope everyone has finally seen that it's the same fucking formula. It's too long. It's still not bad. If it was 7 tracks, I feel like it would be better than Daytona.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't know why he just fucking.
Did you
keeps
listen to the
doing
whole
it.
project?
Yeah, I listened to it twice.
I
it's not
listened to the
terrible.
first, I want to say third of it before I fell asleep last night.
Yeah.
It was mediocre
It's just-
from what I heard.
yeah.
It was just okay. It's what you expect out of a Drake
that's
album.
what
There
I
was
mean,
like
'cause
the
he
boom
keeps
bap
making them
song.
so long, and yeah, he's got the song with the boom bap where he talks about his life, and then he's got the emotional ones, and then he's got the
And then he's got the dance
bangers.
hall ones and the
Yeah.
bangers
It's the
and
same
the club
fucking
rap.
25 songs is insane.
It's
just
it's an hour and a half of music.
I know.
It's
I
almost
listened
2
to it
hours worth of
twice.
music. I'm gonna listen to
And,
it
like-
tonight when we get done with this because I want to
Yeah.
sit down and digest the whole project.
It's fine. Yeah, it is what it is. It's like
Well, and then it's like
If he did less
he
songs, it
always
would be
does
so
he
good.
always does that trick where he gets the big singles beforehand
yeah,
and
and
then
he
throws
puts
them on the
there.
album.
It's all a streaming thing.
Well, and then
so
at
he
least
can go platinum.
Well,
the
yeah,
day
this
of.
album's already gone. How many times platinum? Just because God's
Fucking
Plan and
knows.
I'm Upset is on there.
Yeah,
you know.
that's what I hate about this whole thing. And even with that still doesn't mean you have to make 25 songs.
Yeah.
Like, it's very.
Nobody asked for it.
No, it's definitely his worst project. I feel like I don't even want to say he's overrated because he is a genius.
Yeah.
Like, he's still so big. Like,
Yeah.
who is bigger than Drake right now?
Nobody.
Like, it's fucking insane. Like,
Kendrick.
You can
Kendrick would be the only person who
and
could
even
be
that,
comparable.
because Drake is so pop that there's people who don't listen to rap and know every
Who
fucking
Drake
Drake
is, yeah.
pop song or fucking hit single.
plus how long
and
is
even
Dra-
by
how-
with these albums, like with More Life, I feel like More Life was basically, it was slightly better than this. It's slightly going down.
I
with each
really
release.
liked More Life.
Yeah, I know you love More Life, which is crazy.
More Life was my favorite Drake project.
I feel like the best Drake.
No,
album-
actually, my favorite one is If You're Reading This It's Too Late.
Yeah, that's what
my
I was
favorite
gonna
Drake
say. I feel like
project,
that's
yeah.
got to be the best one because
It goes If You're Reading This It's Too Late, More Life, and then honestly Views. I really liked Views.
I think Views was better than people give it credit
Views
for.
was-
I would
Views
say
was
nothing
very
was this.
dark.
I'd say if you're reading this, nothing was the same. Then I don't even know.
Man,
But like
what was your first Drake song? What was the song that got you into Drake?
fucking something off Comeback Season.
Really?
Yeah, because I listened to him before it was like Young Money, like the mixtapes. I found him and then I was like, this dude is like good. And then like to see like that from like finding his mixtape online and not really knowing what it was.
Do you remember
and then-
him with his little fro on Bad Bitches?
Yeah,
Fucking
I remember.
Problems?
Yeah, I remember everything. I remember like Over, and then like what was the big first single with the best I ever had?
Yeah.
like, I remember that. Hearing that
God,
shit
that
before it
takes
came
me
out.
back.
Yeah, like he's had a crazy career. That's what I mean. I don't know if he's technically overrated. If you consider like everything he does, he moves very smartly. I feel like this Pusha thing was his first like big fucking like scandal even. And
Yeah.
Pusha just like when you hear the album, just gave him a bunch of shit to talk about. He talks about the kid all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not even really a fault.
Yeah.
Because then he fucking flipped it. He's so good at like being massive and being just out of here, and like he still makes good songs. He has good features. That Little Baby song is fucking incredible.
I was listening to the Little Baby song today because
God's Plan is crazy. Now it's just like ridiculous.
It's overplayed,
I hear
but
it
like
every
it's
fucking
such
day
a good
somewhere.
song though.
It was great, and that's what I tweeted it, and I feel like it's the best way. He makes like Instagram caption rap.
Yeah,
because he has those lines.
And if it was those
anyone,
one lines that are Instagram.
If it was anyone else, it's so corny. He like somehow is perfect at being like corny enough
because
to where everybody relates to him, and we don't constantly clown him. Because you're at the bar and you're screaming, "She said, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry." And you still love, and it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then when you sit down and think about it, like if a girl was like, "Do you love me?" and I was like, "Partly. I only love my bed and my mama.
And my mama.
I'm sorry." It'd be like, fucking what?
And if you heard a man, oh my god,
you heard a grown man, yeah. If you heard someone say like a lot of the shit he says, that's why I think he's so big, because he's so relatable. He constantly talks about fucking with his ex and everybody hating on him and all the tropes you see like shitty people on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Even without the lyrics. Then he makes the lyrics and then it's a fucking caption and everything. People are tweeting the lyrics. He's very strategic. Like that cannot be his life to sit around and come up with some of those corny ass lines.
That's what
and
Ghost
even the
Riders
corny
are for.
ones are so hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be drunk shouting it. I feel like every Drake album, I listen to it and I'm like, there's a couple good songs, and then by the like 4 months later, I know the words to every single song.
That's what I'm worried
just
about with
because you
this.
fucking
Is that,
hear it everywhere.
I know
and
there's going to
can't
be
get
some
away from
huge
it.
singles off of this that I'm not even aware of yet that I'm going to love that are probably going to end up on some playlists at some point.
I don't know what could even be singles off this after listening to it twice besides what already has.
The stuff
Nice
that
for
I
What
heard,
is underrated. I forgot. Like I completely forgot that song came out, and then when I listened to it today, I was like, oh yeah, I really like this song.
I actually liked "I'm Upset" a lot more when I listened to it in the album
growing,
context.
and that's what I mean. I feel like it, like the shit somehow grows on you, and it's like it infiltrates. Because that's how I felt with like More Life, besides like Sacrifices and a few songs. And now I feel like I know every fucking song on that project. Even Views, I was like, I won't really listen to it. And then and he drops them in like the perfect times. Like right now, Summer, he has the song. Like if one blows up, there's a song that's like Summer something. And besides, in the chorus, it like repeats a word too much and fucking ruins it. But I feel like that'll be a hit. He writes songs for like teenagers that are falling in and out of love and texting too much and getting fucked up, and like it's all very pandering, but it works so fucking well. You can't even hate him. It's ridiculous. So yeah, Drake is just like rated, I'd say. He's just fucking rated.
Yeah.
So shout out to Drake. I know you're listening. Send us some OVO sweatpants.
Oh man, what I wouldn't give for some OVO sweats.
I heard they make your erection look bigger.
Good.
Which
for how much they cost, they should.
Yeah, that's what we'll start selling sweatpants and be like, guaranteed to make your dick look 30% larger.
$300.
Yes, give us $300.
$100 for every 10%. $10 for every percent.
Go to www.thedapperdads.com/shop and pre-order our big dick sweatpants. They're scheduled to arrive 2022. So get them. They're limited, of course, to 100,000 pieces, and help us pay for all of our.
You got any more of those sweatpants left?
Sold out.
Yeah, a couple. Boxes everywhere. The whole studio. The chair, the table, it's all boxes. We're just like, yeah, we got a few.
The microphones are just really bald.
Box small, size small, box 1 through 14.
So yeah, buy some shit. Also, again, submit to us your
For the
powerful
year episode.
overlords. Tell us your favorite episode, your favorite funny
moment,
thing we've said,
how you got into the
your
show,
least favorite moment, when you started listening, why you listen, where you're from,
what
your
you want out of
full
the
government name,
what
for
you want
old
out of us
time's
in the
sake.
next year, your aesthetic.
Yeah, your soapy boobs.
Ooh, yes, please send your soapy boobs.
Yeah, I'm hoping some men squeeze them together real nice.
Just soapy milkers.
All right.